Everything that we select and all the assumptions that we make on the funding tab, which is including the funding table as well as different funding options based on what I'll be borrowing, what we could borrow or what we can borrow, what we have to make do with, all those flow into the finance tab, and which is where you can split that into what the total finance requirement is going to be for the construction loan or the senior debt, the total debt, the developer's equity. So say, for example, whatever developer equity is required, let's say you need $500,000 to come up with, but you decide that you're going to raise 20% of that from other investors at a different interest rate. So you can split the total debt that's coming into the project from the developer's pocket into two separate parts, account for interest for two separate parts within that portion. And you can do the same thing with the construction or the senior debt, which is where the construction and the mezzanine funding comes in. So in this scenario, when there is no mezzanine funding available or not required, it automatically picks up the 100% right here, and we know what the interest is going to be, the setup fee, the monthly fee, and the drawdown intensity. But let's say the main senior debt needs to be split between the construction loan and a mezzanine loan, which is the junior debt, and that's going to be 30% of that is going to be junior debt. You can account for two different facilities at two different interest rates, two different setup fees, monthly fees, and drawdown intensity. Again, you can do the exact same thing under the developer's equity side as well. For example, if I have to come up with 100,000 and 400,000 needs to be raised from other investors, I would change this to 80%, and that means that GP, which is the general partner, or LP, which is the limited partner, which is basically investors and the developer, that you can split that amongst the two and have different interest rates accounted for that facility to the project. So whatever the interest rate costs are can be accounted, that you can account for those and add them to the project as well. It also shows you the GST input credit that you might need during construction. So this is never funded by anybody, but it is there. So if you need to cover that, you can add or inject extra 20,000 to the project so that it is covered, and it gives you the duration and the interest and the setup fee if you have to account for interest on that extra injection separately as well. So finance is very detailed. It has all the things in there, so you can do any kind of project feasibility using Smart Feasibility Calculator, as long as the projects don't go over 5 years and they start and finish within 2 to 3 years. Smart Feasibility Calculator will handle that, whether it's a rooming house development feasibility, whether it's an NDIS property or a commercial property or a residential property or a mixed-use development. Smart Feasibility Calculator, so long as the project will start and finish between 2 to 3 years, in most cases you will find is more than enough to handle and account for the different scenarios that are available in it.